This chapter, Recognition Without Dignity, is a twin chapter with Reconciliation Without Repentance, which is also in the book Enacting a Public Theology. And I want to thank Reverend Dr. Jeff Broughton, who co-authored these chapters with me and was willing to give an Aboriginal Christian leader with not a lot of experience in writing theological papers a chance to enter theological education and academia. I also want to thank Clive Pearson for bringing this book to life, Reverend Dr. Katherine Rainger, Dr. Sephirosa Carroll and Ryan Green as well, who journeyed with me to South Africa as we delivered all of our papers that make up this collection. This chapter, Recognition Without Dignity, speaks much to my own life story. Theological academia is difficult to participate in when, as an Aboriginal Christian leader, we see the ministry needs all around us. That's the reality of the lack of closing the gap, which we're faced with each and every day. The funerals, the hospital visits, the prison visits, the court visits, the need to help families put food on the table, the reality of our world today, and of course, reconciliation, where we invite non-Indigenous peoples onto the journey with us. I want to still believe in reconciliation, but we can't get there without recognition with dignity. Truth-telling commission, treaty and treaties, rewriting Australia's constitution, not just amending it, but rewriting Australia's constitution. And we can't get there without recognition with dignity, an end to racism, empowerment of Aboriginal peoples, and closing the gap. As Ethan rightly points out on reflection of my words, Australia, we have unfinished business. And I guess there's a few things that give me hope today in 2020. It's when I hear of Year 6 students at Radford College embarking on unless. It gives me hope. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. And when students like Ethan engage with public theology, it also gives me hope. I often share with Year 11 and 12 students Nelson Mandela's quote in the hope that they might come and join the reconciliation journey. Nelson Mandela once said, "Sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great. You can be that generation." And in that twin chapter, Reconciliation Without Repentance, Reverend Dr. Jeff Broughton and myself speak to the outlook for the 2020s. We call for a third generation of reconciliation. It's a call to each and every one of you. You see, to bring about reconciliation will require a multi-generational approach. And so the question I ask you is, so will you care? My hope is that these two chapters offer practical steps forward for individuals and for the nation of Australia, so that in our lifetimes, we will end the postponement of Aboriginal people's justice in Australia. Lord, may it be so. Thank you so much.
The book that we're talking about is this book, a collection of chapters and all addressing different topics, different tipping points, if you like, that have been brought together in this one collection. My chapter was born as I watched from afar the people of Gaza come under attack in 2014. I was drawn to the voices found on social media who cut through the commentary and justification of Operation Protective Edge and instead replaced the commentary with voices of lament at the injustices and violence taking place. I then found in the biblical book of Lamentations ancient voices from the same land who also knew what it was to lament. Lament is a language that we need to keep speaking because it is the forerunner to justice, and without justice there will be no peace, in Israel and Palestine, in Australia or throughout the world. I'd like to acknowledge the other writers who contributed chapters to this book, including Professor Stephen Pickard, who is with us this evening, and Clive Pearson for editing. As I said, each chapter brings to light its own tipping point and draws in theological voices, a task which is needed today in our complex world and our multi-faith world.